Hello and welcome to another edition of the Florida State Simulcast. It's game week, and I was going to get on here and do an Ole Miss preview video. That was all I was going to do this week, but I got a YouTube notification this morning, and usually I'm excited when I see that. I'm like, oh, cool, some fan interaction. That's why I get on here to bullshit with other college football fans. So I was like, all right, let me go ahead and read this. Instead, what do I see? I see a comment with name calling and just erroneous information. Anyway, let's just get to it. David Smith, I'm talking to you, bud. Let me go ahead and read what he wrote. The first one, before he gets to the name calling and act like it's fucking middle school. We're in the top 10 in recruiting, and you are talking shit for a team that lost to Houston in their bowl game. You used the wrong there, by the way. 38-24. Okay, let's deal with that first. The Houston bowl game. Stop bringing it up. It literally has nothing to do with this game that's about to be played between FSU and Ole Miss on Labor Day night. Nothing. And top 10 in recruiting? Okay, first of all, I read the other day in the past 4 years, basically under Hugh Freeze, Ole Miss has averaged a recruiting class of about 11, which is good. FSU's average recruiting class in that same time period is probably about 4 or 5. Now you're going to say, oh, that's only a difference of like 6 or 7. That's huge. I'll give you an example. Alabama's obviously average recruiting class rank of 1, and FSU at 4 or 5. That's only a 3 or 4 difference. But on average, Bama's brought in the last few years, I think last 4 years prior to this recruiting class that just signed, Bama averaged 6 more blue chippers per season. A blue chip is, of course, a 4 or 5 star ranked kid. Okay? That's the difference between Bama and FSU. Now, FSU at 4 or 5 and Ole Miss at 11, I guarantee you the difference is similar to the Bama FSU difference. I have to look it up, but I would say that FSU probably brings an average of 4 to 5 more blue chippers per season. All right, so stop thinking that Ole Miss recruits on the same level as FSU. They don't. That's not being arrogant. That's the fucking facts. All right. Okay, now let's talk about the Houston bowl game that you keep bringing up. I'm gonna go full Bama or full even SEC fan and use the excuse of they didn't care. It was just the Peach Bowl. Bama lost to Utah in 2008. Did that have an effect on Bama the next season? No. Bama won the national title the very next year. That bowl game versus Utah had nothing to do with the following season. Had no effect. Now, I'm not saying FSU's Bama. They're not. Nobody is. What's the other one? Oklahoma a couple years back. Bama just missed out on the national championship, and they lost to Oklahoma. Did that matter? Was Bama like, did that matter? No, it didn't. It didn't affect Bama the next season. Not in the slightest. So please, stop bringing up the Houston Bowl game. If you want to play that game where FSU lost to such and such, so I think that's why Ole Miss wins, that's a baseless, empty, lazy man's argument, okay? But I'll play that game. Here we go. Florida smoked Ole Miss 38-10 in the swamp. Absolutely owned them. Florida lost to Florida State in the swamp, 27-2. So, if Florida beat Ole Miss, Florida State beat Florida, transitive property. No, I'm not going to use that dumbass argument. But if you want, any FSU fan can just throw that in your face anytime they want, dude. Like, you got smoked by Florida, FSU beat the shit out of Florida, all right? So please stop bringing up the Houston game. If you want to make an argument for Ole Miss to win, an argument could be made. Ole Miss could win. I'm not discounting that. But that argument should probably start with, like, Chad Kelly, the Ole Miss D-line, not the Houston bowl game. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. All right, the next thing you said, let's see. You called the guy a dumbass. Like, anytime I've been in a debate with anybody, when they start either yelling or just start name calling, it usually means their argument, their debate, their debating skills. Like, they've given up on the argument. They don't know how to even engage. Like, you resort to name calling. Like, really? Everyone's been going back and forth. You have to just call someone a dumbass? Like, come on, man. You are a dumbass bitch. Let me read this again. This sentence is so fucked. You are a dumbass bitch for the criminals that lets violence go. By no means, but if you are an FSU fan, you can't relate to that. Let's not forget all the problems FSU has had over the years with violence. What does the off-field shit have to do with this Ole Miss FSU game? Secondly, as an Ole Miss fan, who the fuck are you to talk about players getting into trouble? All right? If you're a fan of a major college football team, I guarantee you that you have players getting in trouble. And if they're good players, they probably remained on the team, would be my guess. And lo and behold, I went and did 2 seconds of research, and I knew they'd have a list of players. And I went to arrestnation.com, and I'm going to show that list in a second. Just give me a minute. And as far as FSU's players getting in trouble, my guess is the only way you've heard of that or know anything about that is through ESPN, who had nothing but vitriol, and they just wanted a smear campaign for FSU. Like, FSU has players get in trouble. I admit that. But they left out so many facts. And my guess is you haven't read a word of the Winston report. And hey, why would you? But I've read every page of that report. And I didn't come away thinking, oh, yeah, he's definitely guilty. No. I came away thinking, he may not have done it. You know, of course, I'm biased, but I'm telling you, read the report. If you haven't, don't even talk about, the criminals. That's just a blanket, stupid-ass statement. I'm guessing your other facts have come from the New York Times, which they hardly even check their facts. Jesus Christ. Remember one of the articles, they just got so much shit wrong or left shit out. All right. Yes, FSU had players getting in trouble, but doesn't mean every player on their team is a criminal. That's just like middle school shit, dude. Let's keep it on the field when we're talking about a game. Like, so stupid. Like, so stupid. Anyways, let's go to what I was talking about with the arrestnation.com list of Ole Miss because, before I do that, I forgot. You're an Ole Miss fan saying this when they've been caught, like, paying their recruits? Now, I'm sure many programs help their recruits, but Ole Miss was just blatant doing it. And I don't see where Ole Miss fans get off pointing the finger at anybody for any kind of transgression, all right? Like, you could have sanctions levied on your team, like, at any moment this season. Like, use your brain, guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at that list real quick. All right, and here we are on arrestnation.com. And again, like, I didn't even have to spend more than 2 seconds to find this. Like, I already knew arrestnation.com, and I knew before checking on Ole Miss that they'd have a long list. Oh, but look, let's take a ganders at this list here. Now, these are players that have either been cited, charged, or arrested with some kind of, crime. Rod Taylor, he's likely a starter on the offensive line this year. Robert Kimdichie. Another great player. Tunsil. Oh, there we go. There's another one. Stringfellow, one of the starting receivers on Labor Day. Chad Kelly. Yes, he got in trouble the minute he got to Ole Miss. Oh, but he's cleaned up, and he's this Cinderella story now. Don't forget that he's pretty much been a punk in his past. Oh, but they just gloss over that. He's a feel-good story now. Get the hell out of here. I'm sure he's still a punk. All right, but here we go, dude. Here's a list. This is just since March 14th, 2011. This list is what, 20 deep? All right? So please, stop acting like FSU does shit or, gets in trouble and your team's squeaky clean. Because, again, if you're a fan of a major college football program, I guarantee you're going to find a list like this almost every time. But I'm not done yet. You mentioned the violence that FSU's let go. Let's just scroll on over here. What do we got here? Denzel and Robert Kimdichie sued for $2 million, allegedly knocked out and stomped a man at a party. Now it's allegedly, so I guess it's not, 100% true. We don't know for sure, but this looks like some violence. And last time I checked, Kimdichie didn't get booted off the team. He remained on the team and became a high draft pick. I thought FSU was the only program that, had players committing violent acts. Stomp the man. Now, I could go down and read the rest of the article for you, but you can go ahead and read it yourself. Outkick the coverage. Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, that's why you don't bring shit up like that if you're a fan of any kind of major college football program. It can be flipped and thrown right back in your fucking face, man. That's why I say when you're talking about games, just keep it on the field. No, but you had to go and call someone a dumbass bitch and make accusations and just make erroneous claims about FSU. Like, FSU is not perfect, dude, but as an Ole Miss fan or as a fan of most any team, you have no room to talk. Nobody really does, unless you're like Harvard football that has a bunch of freaking, geniuses running around on the field. And that's a blanket statement. I mean, they're football players, who knows? Even at Harvard, they might not be like that. Anyways, I just had to show this. All right, so there you have it. Keep it on, again, for the last time. Keep it on the field. They bring up this off-field bullshit, call somebody a dumbass bitch, talk about the Houston game that means nothing. Like, come on, guy. You got to be better than that. And I'm with the guy that just recently responded. I forgot his name already. Starts with a K. If FSU, I wasn't going to do a reaction video, but now with comments like this, if FSU, it is still an if they beat Ole Miss, you can better believe you're going to hear about it. Oh my God. Jesus. So, for your sake, I hope Ole Miss wins. And if they do, it won't be because FSU lost to Houston in a bowl game. All right. And it certainly won't be because Ole Miss is recruited at the same level, because they haven't. All right. Just look it up. All right. Well, that's it. That's all. Felt the kind of impulse, the obligation to kind of do this. And if you're going to comment on these videos, not that I have people just flocking to my videos, I don't even, have a ton of subscribers, but if you comment, man, just keep it clean. Don't throw out freaking dumbass bitch. And I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just let it go had you continued with the Houston stuff. But once you started to call someone else a name, then I was like, all right, I got to say something. I mean, you can be, like, in my opinion, wrong about your argument for winning, but hey, you have your right to say what you want. But don't call people names, dude. Especially the stuff you're saying, you're just throwing softballs to me. And many FSU fans, like, recruiting at the same level? Nope, gone. The Houston game has anything to do with this game? No, it doesn't. Gone again. Just you're throwing too many softballs, dude. All right, that's it. That's all. If you're a first-time visitor to this channel, please feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Florida State Simicast. I'm out.